governance and management as it stands today. So most often when I go to workshops and ask what is governance, they say it's about managing, putting some processes in place. So people are not fully clear about what is governance per se. So typically when you say governance, so in the just released Digital Practioners Body of Knowledge, governance is defined by various frameworks such as COBIT, COSCO, and several other ISO frameworks on governance. So essentially they say governance is the prerogative of the board and it should be managed by a chairperson or a chairman. It's the responsibility of chairperson or chairman, whereas management is the responsibility of the CEO or the manager who is in charge. So typically this actually simplifies the whole definitions between governance and management. So to illustrate this example, let us say that you are a restaurant owner who is owning a restaurant and you are taking care of all the day-to-day activities like billing, talking to vendors, suppliers, your customers themselves, and managing the inventory, the billing, the payments, and pretty much all the day-to-day activities that are involved in getting a restaurant up and running. And for some reason, let us say you want to go to a nice happy place on vacation, perhaps take a year off or 6 months off on a hike, let us say, if that is what you want to do. And so you want to entrust the day-to-day running of your organization, of your restaurant, to a manager, and you probably agree to pay him a certain salary, and then he needs to keep the book of accounts, he needs to do all of the financing, managing the vendors, suppliers, the inventory. So all of that becomes his responsibility, and he's supposed to give you a daily account or a monthly account of how things went on well in your absence. So you set up the processes for doing that. So what that is called as governance, and what does he end up doing on a day-to-day basis to manage all of this is essentially the management part of it. So that needs to be really known because there are various schools of thought regarding governance. So governance can be something like, you set up a governance process, you bring a manager in place, you pay him a fixed salary, and then he's accountable for managing your vendor management, your brand while you're away, then your customers, the contracts, and legal and regulatory authority rules and functions that need to be in place. So in case he decides to not probably play it fair, then your brand could take a hitting, and then your business would completely be wiped out if he doesn't manage that. So you could actually bring a certain set of practice, like you pay him based on the revenue that you make, so that he's also got the skin in the game. You make the manager more accountable for all the practices that you put in, and then you could have partly some part of the his take home based on the profit that the restaurant makes, and some part of his fixed, and so on. So basically there's various schools of thought. So as we progress from a team of teams to an enduring enterprise, all the way from a startup, you need governance as things become large and big, and then there are multiple lines of business, and they should all run like a smooth, well-oiled machinery. Even people come and people leave, it should be an enduring enterprise. So that is the enduring enterprise part of the story, that when you reach that level of complexity, you need a fixed governance in place, so which would take care of all of these things. So essentially it's about delivering digital products and value, at the same time how you're managing your contracts, your rules and regulations, your brand reputation, and your essential services. So they say leadership is all about ensuring that the team is able to deliver when you're away. So governance succinctly is just about that. It's about ensuring that people are having processes in place when the leadership is away. So if you've created those kind of governance, you could have IT governance, business governance, security governance, corporate governance, for instance, and then you got corporate fair accountability rules, wherein people publish the salaries of the management as agreed on the stock and shareholders listing and so on. So there is also a theory about principal and agent. So principal in this case is the board, and the agent happens to be the management. Sometimes the principal is amorphous body of stock and shareholders who actually dictate and say how the governance should be, and they appoint a formal CEO who actually has a day job of running the business efficiently. And then so this is a short snippet on what's the difference between governance and management. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.